So, not to interrupt the time lapse on this, but I feel like I owe you all an explanation on what has happened. You saw me paint the blue, and obviously this is the stencil that it leaves behind. Now, I read the directions on those stencils incorrectly. I thought on the stencil, these squares that you can see here and here, I thought you pop those out of the stencil and then laid the next stencil over top of the stencil for the blue. What you're supposed to do is leave the squares on the machine like it is now. After you shoot the blue, you're supposed to peel off the stencil all the way around. Then you take the black stencil that has these squares popped out of the cover material, and you stick it on there so that it aligns and gives you the shadows and the correct spaces. I messed up. So I need to get a stencil for the front because I thought I would knock that one out real quick before I had any help out here. And then I need a stencil for the right side of the machine because, well, that's where I figured out that something was wrong. I noticed that when I was putting the stencil on, my wife was helping me. She was holding it and kind of smoothing it out. I noticed it was going over top of the blue stencil, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then it kind of dawned on me that I'm putting it over top of a stencil that's going to be peeled off. So had I gone around and done the whole machine that way, this is what it would look like when it was done, which it looks really good, but it's not right. It's not the way it should look. There should be black outlines for a bunch of, shapes and figures and stuff. So unfortunately, got to order some stencils. It's just part of this process. The same thing could have happened had I dropped the stencil on the floor or had it like stuck to the machine wrong. We had to peel it off. Luckily, these things aligned pretty good. So I will cut back to the time lapse once I have those stencils and her helping me get them lined up. And then we'll pick back up with painting the stuff black that needs to be painted black and then clear coat. So thanks for watching. Hang in there.
Bye.